Up until the last couple of weeks, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston, and Jaxon Smith-Njigba were consistently the top 3 wide receivers off the board in NFL mock drafts. However, now we have a new name on the rise, and it is Zay Flowers out of Boston College. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN is on the record saying he wouldn't be surprised if Flowers is actually the first wide receiver off the board, and OG draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. mocked Flowers to the Ravens at pick 22 this week. All of this news makes Flowers someone we have got to break down from a fantasy lens. So today, we turn to the wide receiver supermodel to ask, is the hype warranted? Let's start off with the positives, and there were 2 things that the model really highlighted about Flowers. First, no Power 5 wide receiver in this class had a higher Dominator rating than Flowers at 33%. Dominator simply takes a player's share of yards for the team and their share of touchdowns for the team and divides by 2. It's a really great metric because it is offense agnostic. And that's something that really matters for a profile like Flowers because the Boston College offense where he resided was not good. Averaged less than 2,300 yards in 2 out of his first 3 seasons. That's well below the NCAA average. And not only did Flowers have the best career Dominator, he also broke out with a 30% plus Dominator by age 20, only trailing Jordan Addison, who did it at a stellar age of 18. And the second thing that the supermodel loved about Flowers was the fact that he was a target hog. Over his final 3 seasons, he posted target shares of 28, 29, and 31%. And it's not like all of these things were just schemed up for Flowers. Yes, he's 5'9", 182 pounds, but he played mostly on the outside, and get this, over 30% of his targets came 20-plus yards downfield. The average for a college wide receiver is 17%. So we've got a high-end target earner who is able to really overcome a pretty terrible situation, but the question is it enough? So not everything is sunshine and daffodils with Flowers. There are some concerns that we've got to talk about in his profile. While Flowers did earn targets at a very high rate, he was not an explosive playmaker. Only 21% of his targets went for 15-plus yards, which ranks in the 38th percentile since 2017. The question is it really his fault? And look, we're not here to trash Boston College's offense, but the fact of the matter is it was a subpar passing unit that had quarterback accuracy issues. However, if we dig one level deeper and we look at yards after the catch for Flowers, his 6.8 was almost 2 yards above his other Power 5 peers with similar ADOTs. And so the second concern that the model has with Flowers is the fact that he will be 23 years old when the season starts. And look, folks, whether it's the Fantasy Life wide receiver supermodel or other models, in general, being older is not a good thing. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule. We've seen Chris Olave and Calvin Ridley return for their 4th seasons, come out as older prospects, and absolutely smash. However, they were already thought of as first-round prospects when they went into their final season of college. That was not the case with Flowers. So here's the thing with Flowers, it really is a bit of a mystery box type situation. While his age, his explosive target rate were definitely concerns, there are also caveats. There are reasons that those things might not be a big deal. So for all the negatives, there are still a lot of positives, and I can see why a lot of the draft analysts are really pushing Flowers up the board. Having said all of that, I think the Fantasy Life supermodel actually has Zay Flowers pegged. His upside comp in the model is Christian Kirk. That would be someone that's eventually a wide receiver 2 for your fantasy roster. The downside is Jalen Reagor, obviously a major bust.